what is this title all about? How to fix your poorly performing practice. Many of you guys may have read that title and maybe you thought to yourself, well, how could you even talk about that, Brian? Everybody's practice may be poorly performing for some unique reason or cause. Well, you would think that, and that would make sense if you just kind of looked at it superficially. But my experience 30 years in this industry is that that's not the case. A poorly performing practice usually is because of one of five things. One, it's a who. Somebody is not doing something. They're undiscovered by you. They're camouflaged. Whole is a term that I learned some years ago. They're not doing what they say they're doing, but they're telling you they are. So it could be a who. Second, it could be lack of accountability. Literally people just doing things of their own accord, but not really being held accountable to it. Three, it could be you. You haven't established the right structure, the right systems of operation, nor have you provided the appropriate training to elevate their performance to the level you're looking for. So that brings us to structure and systems of operation. Structure. There's 5 divisions within your practice. There is a division 1, human resources, administrative, policies, procedures, the admin side of things. Number 2, marketing and branding, internal and external marketing and branding. What are you doing in terms of sales? What are you doing in terms of attracting new business to your front door? What are you doing to differentiate yourself from everybody else up and down the road? When I was in practice in Maryland, I had 12 clinics within 2 miles of my practice. I definitely had to distinguish myself separately from the competitors. We definitely didn't want to be looped into the group of shake and bake practices as I was surrounded with. We needed to provide some level of care, some unique experience to the patient that they would go back and tell their referring sources, friend, family member, neighbor, about that experience. It had to be something other than, my therapist is good. They know what they're doing. It had to be something well beyond that. And so I can talk a little bit more about that later. Structure, like I said, the 5 divisions, we were talking marketing. Division 2 was marketing and branding. Division 3 is finance, money in, money out. This is a very big deal right now. What are people doing to actually manage their front desk? The fastest side of our practice is establishing a virtual front desk inside your office, whereby we can assign you somebody who's came in and passed our entry-level exam, went through our training program and passed their final exam, went through the role play, and then did a 2 to 6 week rollout learning all about your practice. And now this person is going to be on the screen, checking people in, processing everything that needs to be processed, or some version of that you wish. If you want just insurance verification or authorization, or you want full service, you can pick and choose. Maybe you have somebody who's really great at the front desk, but they're not really great at the admin side of things. When you are at the point that you recognize you fail to have the level of expertise in this area of your practice in order to hold people accountable, in order to get the performance level you're looking for, in order to manage the person responsibly, and in terms of educating and enhancing their professional performance, it's just not what you went to school for, you will quickly realize that it's so much more cost effective for you to outsource that. Unfortunately, people are getting duped into outsourcing just people from wherever, but they're still your problem. They're still yours to manage. I highly recommend you find a group, whether it be ours or someone else's, that's going to actually staff, source, supervise, manage, professionally enhance, groom, address issues, handle everything that you are not wanting to handle at your front desk. So that's division 3, the front end. The back end is billing. Now, we've been doing that for 10 years. So proven track record of success there. Virtual front desk has been 3 years of constant, climbing the mountain of perfection. But I think we've got that thing nailed down right now. We have recently done a reiteration, and I think all of our owners are going to be the benefactor of that. So that is really great. And that's what so many of you are looking for. I can't afford to have this person on my payroll. I can't afford to have another billing person leave and start all over again, or retrain another front desk person only to get mediocre work and not have the time to even manage them or pay for them. So division 4 is production. In a PT private practice, I think you're most successful if you just have PTs, PTAs, and techs, And if you find a way, in a systematic way to approach that in an economical, efficient way, you're going to be much, much more viable. Your poor practice performance will turn around quickly. But again, one of the 5 major reasons why practice is performing poorly is you have to have a high degree of confront to be able to meet with your staff and hold your staff accountable to the metrics of what it takes to be a success in your practice. You can't be wishy-washy. You can't sweep it under the carpet. You can't just keep talking to people. Otherwise, you're going to feel like you're doing adult babysitting. How many of you guys feel that way? How many of you feel you keep repeating yourself? It's because you're not holding people accountable to metrics, accountable to statistics that measure their performance. You just keep talking to them socially. That's not going to work. As a matter of fact, here's a little tip on that. If I'm talking to any staff member and I want something done, or I want something performed, or I want a change in process or protocol, number 1, I need to put it in writing. Number 2, I have to go over it verbally and have a dialogue for full understanding so I can visually see and audibly hear the person repeat back to me that they fully understand what we're talking about, what we're going to do. Number 3, I have to gain their agreement on the need for change because obviously they're doing something that's not performing well. So if you're going to instruct them, if you're going to up the performance, if you're going to up the quality of care delivery, if you're going to up the administrative role and responsibility, you have to show them the need for change. You have to gain their agreement on why we can't stay the way we are and why we have to be where we need to be. So establishing a need for change with your personnel is what's going to give them what people call the buy-in, but I think that's like a joke. I think it's more of an educational thing, not something I want to just pull over on them, but something I really want them to understand the DNA of and why we are here and what our purpose and mission is, because we're not like the other clinics up and down the road. So that's division 4. If I want my therapist to average over 3.5 units on a 45-minute schedule, or if I want over 3 units on a 40-minute schedule, whatever it is, however I'm going to manage them ethically, professionally, and appropriately within the Practice Act, which is highly what I'm all about and what I'm only going to recommend, then you need to be able to show them how to do that. And you need to give them the tools and the training to succeed on that. That brings me to division 5. Your quality division, your education division, your executive division, your vision division. That is division 5. Like, you need to know that if you don't have a learning management system embedded inside your practice, which is what Meg Academy is, you literally come in and we literally put this web-based learning management system for every position in your company in your hands. It's in your name. It's what you deliver. You get certificates of training, certificates of completion. People can move up the employment ladder and actually make a little bit more money by completing more programs within your learning management system. If you have that, people see a future. People feel part of something bigger than just coming in and doing my schedule and going home. You have to offer more of an opportunity, more of an inclusion kind of culture and experience. Like, we're all winning together or we're losing together, right? There's no separation here. So the individual members of any team only win after the team's winning. Have you said that to your staff? Have you had that communication with them? Have you shared with them, this is division 5 now, we're talking executive division, division 5, which is also quality control, quality assurance. Have you shared with your staff member to the point that you can tap anyone on the shoulder and say, what's the product here? What is it that we all assemble for each and every day? What is it we're going after here? They should be able to say it from memory. All patients arriving on time as scheduled, no longer suffering from their original complaint, willing to tell a friend, family member, neighbor, and doctor, referral source about the superlative experience they had in our clinic. Why is that not your product? Why is that not what you're going after? We're not going after a better McKenzie approach or a better muscle energy approach or a better strain counter strain approach. That's just part of the ingredients. You're going after the final cake, the final version, the final taste test. You're not going after the steps of making the whole process. You're going after the final result, which is the product. The doing this is the mixing of the batter and the putting in the ingredients and the milk and the flour and the sugar. It's the same thing in a physical therapy practice. Checking them in on time, bringing them back, being in good communication, gaining their agreement with their home exercise program and their compliance with their visits. Have a visit tracker so we're tracking what was prescribed, what percent of the prescribed is being met. Do you even have that statistic being tracked inside your practice? Do you have a statistic being tracked of what is the, GI divided by staff metric on a financial level? Or what is the net promoter score on a quality experience level? What do patients have to say about their experience coming in your practice? All of this falls in Division 5. Measurement of attainment of goals through statistics turns you into a practice that's managing by statistics, which replicates your purpose, your mission, your product. Practices that are poorly performing are because they're losing some sense of control, accountability, responsibility, and some degree of measurement of what's actually happening in front of them. Most owners, I find in that scenario, are just talking to the wall all the time. They're constantly repeating themselves, constantly thinking they're getting something done, but they're really not. They're really just expressing their thoughts and ideas. And the person's like, okay, that's the, message of the minute, but that doesn't really have carryover. Standard operating procedures with a long-term professional and personal enhancement program inside your practice will change the game. It absolutely will change the game. What I want for you is nothing less than 20 cents on the dollar in terms of profit for what you're doing. I want every dollar that comes into your practice, 80 cents of it goes out in payroll, overhead, rent, utilities, expenses, overhead, all of that, right? But at least 20 cents on the dollar stays in the practice and goes to you to pay it forward for further enhancement, further best products, better EMR systems, better computers, better equipment, better, benefit packages, better compensation packages. The days of paying people a salary for success are over. Having a base salary or a prorated salary with pay for performance layered on top, or somebody who's in a clinical director role and gets a percent of the net profit, the net revenue, not gross, but the net, they're part of making that net, is an ideal exchange rate. And that is going to keep people wanting to be in your game, on the floor, as a part of your culture for long-term retention. The more we put into place in terms of standard operating procedures, policies for professional growth and opportunity, an employment ladder, an educational system in which they get enriched each and every month, you won't be a poor performing practice. You won't have these struggles. If you literally want to have your practice evaluated and have a complete assessment done on what's going on via Zoom remotely with me personally or Laura, the director of Meg Academy, just reach out to us. Go to my website, www.megbusiness.com. Go to the website, click on the resource tab. Look at how much free information we're going to share with you. I hope you enjoy the free information I give you on this Zoom or on these YouTube videos that I shoot each and every week. I hope you see the value in that. But what I really want you to value is you, your staff, your practice, your referral sources, and your community. You can do so much more the more you know. It's what you don't know that's holding you back from succeeding in private practice. For those of you looking to start a practice, we do the virtual front desk and the billing for you, the credentialing for you. We do it all. We set it all up for you. I will work you through the first 6 months of your business setup and the next 6 months of your practicing business so that you get to your 1-year anniversary profitable. It should not take 12 to 18 months. It should take 3 to 6 months for you to be in revenue profit as a startup practice. For you who have an existing practice and you're looking for that second, third, fourth office, whatever it may be, let's scale this up and let's do this proportionately across the board for you in all of your offices. But it's up to you. The number one reason why someone's having a poorly performing practice is because the owner and the executive management team is failing to confront out structure, out systems, out personnel, out education, out professional enhancement, out staff accountability, because they're not managing by statistics, they're managing by personality. Don't make that mistake. We can definitely help you. This is for you to think about what you can do next in your next action to raise the quality of your practice to a level that everybody is winning with, that everyone is benefiting from. And the decision is yours. It's yours to make. Things aren't getting easier out there. They're getting increasingly more challenging. I don't believe in problems. I only believe in challenges. Let me help you make what you need to do to meet and exceed every single one of those challenges. You can make it right. You can literally control this because you're a cause over it. So that's the message for this week's podcast and YouTube channel, however you're catching our media. If you want finer details on how to actually create a step-by-step business strategic plan, reach into us at megbusiness.com. I'm here to help you. Please click like and subscribe. It helps the viewership, helps me to help more people. The whole reason why I'm here in front of you is because I have a purpose of helping you live the life of a practice owner that you deserve for yourself. Start each and every day, everybody, expecting to do well, and think of 5 things you're grateful for out loud every morning. I wish you all the best.